Hello, and welcome to another edition of Guide to Youth with Reha, your resident gypsy. On today's show, we are going to discuss the pros and cons of video games and the effects playing video games have on our society as a whole. We have two very special guests today, Jennifer and Crystal, who will be joining our conversation later in the show. All hell broke loose when the Museum of Modern Art started exhibiting video games such as Tetris and Pac-Man. Last November, the Museum of Modern Art said that it had acquired 14 video games, adding working copies and the source code of games like Tetris and The Sims to its collection. In a TED Talk released yesterday, the Modern Museum of Art Senior Curator of Agriculture and Design, Paola Antonelli, discussed the decision and explained the importance of interaction design. She wants people to understand that design is so much more than cute chairs, that it is first and foremost everything that is around us in our life. Antonelli began bringing examples of interaction design to the museum several years ago with acquisitions such as Martin Waterberg's Thinking Machine. But video games proved a lot more controversial. Some argued that games were not art and as much should not be at the Museum of Modern Art, while others said that video games could not be art because there's something else. Code. In the museum, the games collection is displayed in a minimalist fashion, modeled after Philip Johnson's 1934 exhibition Machine Art, in which he displayed propeller blades and other pieces of machinery on white pedestals and white walls. In choosing which games to acquire, the museum worked with video game designers and academics on four basic criteria: behavior, space, aesthetics, and time. The team had to decide where to draw the line on violent video games. It's considered that in design and in the design collection, what you see is what you get. So, when you see a gun, it's an instrument for killing in the design collection. If it's in the art collection, it might be critiquing of the killing instrument. Following these principles, the team included games such as Portal, where you shoot walls to create paths, and Street Fighter because martial arts are good, but excluded games such as Grand Theft Auto 3. Other games picked for the initial batch included Pac-Man, Katamari Damacy, EVE Online, and Cannabalt. MoMA plans to acquire more in the coming years. Antonelli likens the process of acquiring a video game to her aspiration to acquiring a Boeing 747 airplane that would at the same time be a part of the museum's collection while continuing to fly, or the recent acquisition of the symbol, which is both in the museum while remaining in public domain. The end goal is to acquire the game's original source code, which could be quite difficult to pry away from secretive game maker. If that's not possible at first, the museum at least wants to wedge their foot in the door. Antonelli states, "We're going to stay with them forever. They're not getting rid of us, and one day we'll get that code." I would like to begin a conversation with 13 to 21-year-olds where we can discuss openly the implications of children, because 13 to 21-year-olds are still children, playing video games. Because I am such an ardent believer that video games are harmful and they harm our children, I have invited two special guests to join me for today's show and share their opinion about video games. Jennifer and Crystal, hello.
Hi.
Hi, welcome to my show, and thank you for joining me. I am looking forward to our conversation and perhaps hearing a more balanced approach to video games. Do you play video games?
Sometimes I do.
And this is Jennifer.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, and here's my friend Crystal. Hi.
Hi, welcome both. What types of video games do you play? What are the names of these video games?
Well, I usually play like Mario and other games, but not really much violent games. I play violent games, as you call them violent. I play the Xbox. I actually play healthy games that get you up and exercising.
Oh, for instance, you use a Wii, and there is something called Let's Dance, I think, and a lot of people are using. Okay, and you mentioned that you do play some video games, such as Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, similar to those, or something different. They're fun. They're fun, and these games do involve shooting other people. What is the fun aspect of a video game that involves violence? I, don't know how to play a video game, but what is the aspect that makes a violent video game fun besides shooting at someone?
Well, usually we play violent video games to get coins and try to do all that stuff.
Okay, so there's a plot involved, and there's rewards if you do well. And I guess the difference between video games from when I was a teenager and the video games that we have today is that the video games today do not seem to have a beginning or an end, but can go on indefinitely. Is this true?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like to me too. And so for that reason, I think it's a different world that we live in today from when video games first came out, and I think that as parents, we should use caution when allowing our children to play video games for long periods of time.
Yes, but I don't think parents should let really young kids play video games like violence. They should be reading.
Oh, I agree, definitely. That's the best way to grow up, reading and learning and interacting live with our environment, not through a computer game interface.
Well, video games can rot your brain. Like any video game. Crystal, no. Yes, they can. No, they can't. They make you smarter.
There are a lot of differing points about the effect of video games, and indeed, as you mentioned, it is better to spend time reading a book or going outside and playing, interacting with our environment. And if one must play video games, it should be very limited, only as a potential tool for the positive effects of video games, such as better manual dexterity and learning computer literacy. Thank you both for joining me this evening. It was a pleasure speaking with you, and I hope you can be on my show again. Thanks for listening, everyone. This is Reha with another presentation of Guide to Youth. Please tune in next time.